Right on, right on, right on. We're gonna go ahead and do more hours. We're gonna go through this how to build a level in the Windy Woods tutorial. We last time built an additional enemy. We played around with movement a whole bunch. We've been reading the code of prior things. That guy exists now because of us. We are creation. And now we're going to learn how to build a level, which is going to take us into this space. We're going to be making a new room, and we're going to be learning how to do all the stuff that I was kind of tooling around with in this layer panel up here, and learning about, which I'm very excited about. I think it was in this, yeah, collision tiles. So very excited for that. Let's go ahead and make a new room for ourselves because I already know that that's going to be a thing. RM underscore level underscore 3. We'll drop that right in there. Let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial.
Windy Woods is a template in GameMaker that has all you need to create your own platformer. It already has a first level built for you, and the second level is empty. So let's fill that empty space and build our own level by creating new paths, adding blocks and enemies, and while doing that, learning how the room editor in GameMaker works. After you start GameMaker, create a new project, and down here select Windy Woods. Give your project a name and click on Let's Go. Your new project will now open, and because we used a template which already has content, you can click on this play button here or press F5 on your keyboard to play it. In your project, you will see all the assets that I used here in the asset browser. Levels in GameMaker are created using room assets. This template has 2 levels and the second one is mostly empty, so we'll be building our own level here. Now when you run the game, you have
I think we're going to start from scratch because I want practice throwing in like these background sprites and throwing in these particle effects and stuff. I'd like to get some real practice in with that.
to play through the first level to get to the second one, and that's gonna result in slow testing when you want to run the game and test the second level that you've built. So let's make it so the second level opens first whenever you run this game. In your asset browser, click on this space next to any room. This will open the room order menu. Here, drag the RM level 2 room and put it above RM level 1. Now, whenever you play your game, the second level will open first. Now, double click on RM level 2 and let's start creating our level. You edit your level in the room editor using GameMaker's layer system. There are
Like Slayer system. Oh, hey, Wife Quest. You're amazing.
layers for various things with different names, but basically the icon tells you what kind of layer it is. For example, this is an instance layer which has all the objects in your game like the player, coins, and enemies, and this is a tile layer containing all of the ground tiles that the player stands on. Now, this particular instance layer already has some message instances that are displayed in game which we don't need. So right click on this layer and delete it. Let's now carve a path for our player.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy some stuff in here. I'm going to take this effect leaf and layer. Let's copy that in. Let's see what happens if I copy and paste a layer. Is that going to function the way that I would expect it to? Okay. Copy player layer, add layer, add sublayer. Okay, so no. So that's why they have this second room set up, is because they don't want to deal with like making all these new layers and stuff. They're just trying to get you used to how do the layers function. So let's see if we can recreate this. We want a new effect layer. This is going to be, what are we calling it? Effect leaf. All right. Let's go ahead and stick with that. Effect leaf. And then filter effects. We're going to go to wind blown particles. That will be our sprite. Do we have other particles? We want that one instead. What have they set up? Yes, that is what they use. Okay. So we have this. Viewports and cameras, not going to bother with that. Room physics, not going to bother with that. Oh, because we're not in the effect leaf thing. It's like, this doesn't seem right. Great. We'll just leave it at default settings. We'll see what happens. Let's grab our background and throw in. I mean, I'm curious what we can do here. I'm curious, can I just dump everything onto this background layer? Or should I have like my different layers of trees being on different layers as well? Got that. Let's see. Let's copy our dimensions over from this. Make sure we're building levels of similar size. Oops. 19,000. There we go. Okay. Height is that. Okay. So now we have our trees sprite. Let's see. Let's see here. What I'm looking for is like the tiling options, which we have seen in the past. Tile horizontally. So I would think that I could set that tile horizontally and that would do what we're looking for. However, it's not set, but it is tiling over here. Okay, so they've just set that as an image. There we go, horizontal tile. Okay. Now, can I add in another thing on top of this? No. Okay, so you only get one per. So we're going to rename this to be fuzzy trees. No, let's use something that actually makes sense. Far background. Oh, we can't use spaces? Rename layer. Okay. Far background. Then we're going to duplicate it. This will be middle background. This is a filmmaking technique that Kurosawa was a very big champion of, which was you always have a background, a middle ground, and a foreground. You'll get any of his shots, and there will be this incredible parallax sort of shots back in the 1940s, 50s in black and white, and they're just stunning. Story is that he would wait for weeks for it to rain in a particular place so that they could film the right weather that they were wanting. They didn't do it artificially. They would just say, okay, guys, we're hanging out here. The samurai film really needs rain, so it's a visually amazing movie. He did a lot of awesome work. Yeah, Forbidden Fortress. Forbidden Fortress? Hidden Fortress. Hidden Fortress. Forbidden Fortress is the board game. Hidden Fortress. Absolutely incredible. Okay, so then we've also got to do a new layer for clouds. I'm assuming we're going to want that to be, I don't really know what a tile layer is, or a path layer. But I'm going to guess we're gonna want either this asset layer or instance layer to throw a bunch of clouds up, because we're not gonna want the cloud sprites to like repeat. We just want to manually place them. Oh, and you know what? We also need, I'm realizing, we need the skybox. This guy. There we go. All right. Making progress. Although it looks a lot shorter than it does over 4352, 4352. So can we like, did they offset these? Y of 600. Yes. They shoved them down by 600. So Y of 600. And then middle ground, Y of 600. There we go. Easy game. Fantastic. So, clouds. Is it going to be an assets or an instance? I think instances are for objects, and so it shouldn't be an object. It should just be assets. And we can't do background because that's only for one image at a time. My guess is instance, which should be the square with the plus. Where are our clouds? Yes, good, excellent. I'm understanding things correctly. So add a new layer here, instance layers and clouds. And we're just gonna start dragging in some clouds. I can do this, huh? Go grab our small clouds. We don't want things to look too regular. I'm gonna kind of throw these around a little bit. I wish I could like change size. You probably can change size here. There we go. We've got our clouds right on. What else do we need? I mean, we need ground, obviously. And it looks like I have somehow obliterated the ground. So once we get the ground in, we need trees. We also need like the camera, and I don't know how they're doing that, because I'm assuming if we start play here, it's gonna start zoomed out. Let's see. So I saw a button up here that says show views, and it kind of looks like what this might be. And I'm seeing stuff over here that is hidden. Okay, that's inherit. Okay. What I'm looking for is how do we add a view? Because I'm guessing that's kind of what we're talking about. File sets, scripts, sequences, HUD, items, particles, player. I mean, would it be in HUD? HUD background, HUD coins, heart empty, heart full. Okay. Particles, player, tile set sprites, UI, VFX. HUD background, coins, hearts. Fonts, notes. Ooh, documentation. Whoa. Look at that. Cool. That's neat. Dive into that at a later time. But scripts? Yeah, no. Sequences? No. This is something that I'm really curious in. It looks like this is kind of a way to set up a series of events to happen, which is more behavioral and affecting broader things than a single object might. Gotta learn more about that. That sounds really important. So we got our grass, all that sort of stuff. That's good. what I'm looking for is the view, and it wouldn't make a ton of sense for me for the view to be in the assets, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So all we have up here is like play and stuff. Export options. So how do I make a view? Let's see here. Open in the room? Yeah. Persistent clear display buffer width, creation code, instance creator, viewports and cameras. There we go. Enable a viewport. Viewport 0? There we go. So we have found the thing. Oh, object following. So we can just follow object player. There we go. We'll follow the player. Let's copy over these border values and then start playing with them. As we have things set up. So they're doing a 1920 by 1080, which is interesting because I would assume that it should just inherit like the screen size, right? The window size. But there's probably a way to do that. Trying to think about my circle incremental game, this is now all of a sudden a great way to do this. We're gonna have the viewport, different viewports set up for different levels. And different levels, we could have a massive room with the like 4 different levels, and then the 4 different worlds with each 4 different levels, and then you set the viewport equal to whatever level that you're on, but all of them could run simultaneously. And then you can, when you finish a level, zoom that viewport out, or rather move that viewport up into a corner, and then the new viewport toggles on, which is the new level. Now you have your old dude, your old circle running along in the background, doing the level as they were. And then you're good to go. Okay, so we really do need ground. I am curious what I did here. Can I like undo in here? No, okay, so room 1 is looking good. So I wonder what that red thing is. Oh, that's right, we did see... Not that. We did see some weird layer that was like a collision box for stuff. I don't think it was collision tiles. Visuals? What's interesting to me is they have like that foliage layer and then they have this visuals layer. It looks like this is pretty much for the caves. So is that just a weird bad naming of the layer, or is there a reason that it's that way? Cave tiles, spike tiles. Oh, okay, so that's giving them their background. Okay. Got trees, back trees 1, back clouds, back sky. That all makes sense. And actually naming them all back underscore makes a ton of sense as well. Well, oh well. I'm sure we'll figure it out. So, where do they have their... Okay, so it's right there. So, collision tiles. We're making a new tile layer. And where do I bring in the asset for the tile? No tile set. Tile set. Here we go. We've got a tile set. I'm assuming we're going to want world to start off with. And then put this down right there. And then, oh, rotate. Z is rotate. Will X rotate the other way? Oh, it'll flip. Interesting. Whoa. Hey, look at that. We've got, so that was A. Is that A for area? Oh, and we have controls up here. Auto tile. Select tiles. Auto tile. Rectangle? Just a normal square. What about line? Okay. Fill? Ah, okay. Eraser. Pen. Is that just, yeah, okay. Whereas rectangle is that. So with the pen, when I clicked and dragged, it put a block everywhere my mouse ran on top of while I held the mouse button down. Rectangle is drawing a rectangle with that sprite. So we've got, you know, we can make a big block of any dimension that we want. Line, I'm gonna assume, click and drag makes a line. There you go. All right. And then we have auto tile, which sounds compelling. So what I'm curious about now, I've dragged that across a bunch. Is this going to count as one tile or like 20? So let's go to select tile that I found earlier. Okay, so we can select individual tiles. So each of these is individual. Right on. All right. Go back to auto tile. Auto tile. There we go. Oops. So, okay, so what happens if I do this and then I go up and then I say, oopsies, I don't want that, and I can erase this. Like if I erase these, okay. So these are still staying the same. So if I select all of these guys, can I like change them to be grass? Is there no way to swap? Because that would be a major bummer. Can I click it over here? Okay, I mean, kind of. That's not very fast. Basically, what I did was I selected these, and then I came into the room editor, and then I was able to find the tile that I wanted and put it on. So, like, and then I can click and put them wherever I want. And it doesn't affect anything that isn't selected, which is nice, right? So I can, like, throw that on and throw that on. But, like, what if I did want to bulk replace a massive tile set? Am I gonna have to delete everything and then restart? Because that seems like that's probably gonna be more efficient than trying to like hand paint in all the tiles. That's a bummer. Now, if we're deselecting, clicking off, right clicking, double clicking, all that sort of stuff, not really working. Control D? Nope. Selecting select layers again and then just clicking off. That's That's not working. How do I deselect? It seems like that should be a thing. That should be somewhat easy. E for eraser, good. Oh, but I'm still in the selection. Okay, select tool, right click. Gets rid of that. Okay, great. And then auto for A, got it. Auto for A, that's what it was, not area, auto, got it. So I can like click drag down and it will even swap things out on me down here. So it's changing out a lot of this. It looks like there's a couple of things that are still being caught, or rather not working incredibly well. Push those little nodes up. But overall, I mean, not bad. Erase that. Auto tool. Can I shift? No, I can't. Jeez. All I want to do is draw a straight line. Really fast and easy. This is good for filling space out. But like, boy, I would love to be able to just click and drag. Or, I mean, I guess that's what the select tool would be for, right? You select the space that you want. So like we could select all the way over to here. And then, honestly, can we do the fill? No, it won't smartly interpret it. So, I mean, we can just do this and put it all in, although I'm seeing some problems. Again, we get these little corner pieces that kind of mess up. But I think the biggest problem is that we're not seeing the tops. So now I have to do this. Can I select that area? No? That's a bummer. Because that's kind of like the whole point of the auto tile. All right, so we're still looking for a way to just quickly fill in a big space with kind of content aware tiling. Clean this all up. This is another one I'm curious about. Why do we have some of these? We zoom in here. Some of these get this bottom scalloped edge and others don't. And I understand that that's the bottom of the sprite sheet. Are the ones that don't have it just because I kind of went down like this? I went too far down, and so now they've been replaced. I can do this and then erase. Well, like, it would just be nice to... Okay, delete. Good. Right on. Delete will allow me to just square that away. So that, select, delete. Right click. Done. Okay. Lovely. So we now have a whole big level here. Also, looks off. It looks like our sky moved down. Why did our sky move down? Room level 3. Are you guys still at positive? No, you're not at positive 900. Why did you reset? Weird. Guess we'll just set the tiles layer to be that as well. Was it 900? I mean, I'm seeing a black bar there, so I'm assuming maybe it was like 700? 600. Okay. And this is why, like, it's cool that you can do this, but it would be even better if we didn't have to do this. If we could have the assets just fit the way that they should. That's an important note to make, is figure out what height the screen is going to be, and then make assets that appropriate height. Now, of course, that's going to be problematic with resolution increases, and I totally don't understand how resolution settings work in GameMaker. Let me scratch that. I don't know how resolution settings work in video games. I understand it from a responsive web perspective. But there's a lot of tools we have in responsive web that we don't seem to have here. Like I can pin an image absolutely to the bottom left of the page, and it can scale appropriately with the web page. And I don't know if we can do that here because everything kind of seems to have set dimensions. So I don't know. That's another big problem we'll have to figure out someday. So we are renaming this from tiles to dirt, ground, dirt. There we go. All right. So we have Lovely jubbly. Let's go to our instances and let's bring in the player. All right, hit play. Should start off right in here. Perfect. Masterpiece. Exactly as intended. All right. Okay. So there's a lot of things going wrong here. Many, many things. Let's start with the ground. We have collision tiles, tile set world, tile set world. I really wish it would keep the layer open. It doesn't seem to have anything else about it. Right? Like, I'm not noticing anything in addition to this. So, I mean, we have our Y value set differently, but that's just the Y value. You know? So why is this not giving us collisions when this one does? Oops. Oh, there's the stop leaf effect editor stuff. Okay. Oh, got it. So all that is saying, is when we're underground, don't have the leaves blow through. Easy. That's all it's saying. Because you don't want it to be blowing around when it's underground. So that's a mystery solved. Let's go ahead and dive into, once again, this weird floor is not lava. Floor is, in fact, not real. Philosophers are having a field day. Because we have collision tiles, right? Like, it should be colliding. And in our instances, we have object player, right? Exactly as it should be. Object player. Oh, I'm also seeing hurt zones. Where's that? Oh. Okay, so that's for like pits and stuff. Got it. Got it. Okay. Right on. Learning a lot every time. Every single time we jump on. Learning a ton. So we have our collision layer. Like, does it need to be called collision tiles? Like, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Oh, and there's a bulk way to put down tiles. That's good to know. Our little slider there. Brushes, we have libraries, normal, mossy, underground, okay. Oh, and so every tile set needs to have its own tile layer. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. I wonder why you can't just have different tile sets available to you within the same tile layer. That is strange. Okay. Right on. So why are we not colliding? First off, That's our main question. Now, oh, weird. Some of these options just got like turned off. How strange. What happens if we hit play? Is that gonna fix the camera? No. I mean, okay, in a sense it's fixed the camera because now we're looking at the right spot. But we're not following the player. So let's set that. I wonder if it broke because like the player was not in the game yet. But there were other things that reset too that shouldn't really have been affected by that. I don't know. Okay, good. We are following the player. Still not colliding with the ground though. We have blocks as an object? We do. So then, what are these? Okay, so these are destructible blocks. That's not ground. So why is my ground not working like their ground? They don't have filters, they don't have effects. The only thing is they don't have an offset on it, right? Whereas mine does. But like, is that really the problem? I find that hard to believe. Let's go ahead and move the player up here. Yeah, nope. So let's do the only other thing that's different, which is the name. And if the name is that important, then I think that's really dumb. Let's check. Son of a biscuit, are you for real? Wow. Okay. There we go. We've started a level. I think I actually even saw the leaves working. Anyways, be right back. Made some good progress. Be back in just a couple minutes. Okay, right on. Here we are. We have a new room that we have built from scratch, sans art assets. And we have learned about viewports. We've learned that we've got these particles going all over the place, but boy, do I want to tune those down a bunch. We've learned that you need to have collision layers set as the name, or collision tiles set as the name for your floor, which seems very strange to me. I don't know why that's not just like a checkbox to turn on or off. But yeah, like, why do you have to name it collision tiles? Why can't you just, like, have a checkbox under properties saying collides? I don't understand that just at all. Nonetheless, there we are. We have a working game. So now we're just gonna, like, bring in a whole bunch of stuff. So one thing we do need is we need we need the end gate. And I'm curious why this end gate has its own layer instead of just being in the instances layer. I'm gonna copy it for now, and hopefully try and figure that out as we go forward. So let's add in a new instance layer. This will be the end gate. And then we can put in our gate object. Oh, editor. That's our hurt zone and stop leaf effect. Got it. Stop leaf effect being for the underground spaces. Okay. Interactive object and gate. Right on. So we'll just slap the gate over there. And also have object and gate particles. Ooh. That affects draw. This event changes the blend mode to add, draws the instance, and resets the blend mode. Okay. Does this have like an animation or something? Does the sprite have an animation? This is how I work. I keep going down these rabbit holes. Yes. It does have animations. Okay. So that makes sense. We're just throwing it in on a blending mode so it's not pure white. Getting on top, I'm assuming that the gate object is going to call the sprites. Create object, end gate particles. There we go. So it's on create, it creates the sets of particles. Got it. Cool. Look at us, like, getting proficient in this stuff. Super cool. I'm like knowing what to expect and how things are getting put together to a certain degree. Definitely lots of blind spots, but hey, we're moving. We're moving. Okay, so now let's try and move this back down. And then theoretically, we should still be good, right? We should still collide. Good. Right on. Let's grab our instances layer. We'll move ourselves down, and then let's go to our viewport and see if I can set that Y position a little bit more reasonably. Okay, so we've got that. There we go. It's not like silky smooth. I'm gonna you won't be able to see this, but in the editor, I am increasing the Y position until it matches up more or less with what I'm seeing in the game right now. Because ideally we don't want that, big jump as the camera kind of readjusts to following you. I'm using these rocky layers down here to kind of determine where that will be. So we get down to the first broad one, and then 1, 2, and then the start of the third rock down. So try 800. Let's try 850. Try 825. 840. 830. That looks That looks about right. 830. Let's try it. Let's see how big of a jump we get. Pretty much nothing. Perfect. Great. Love it. All right. Whew. What's next? What do we do next? I guess the next step is going to be building stuff to interact with. So let's go back to our collision tiles. We're going to erase. Can you have multiple collision tiles layers? Because what if I want collision tiles with this dirt set, but then I also want collision tiles with the like the cave tile set, right? What if I want different looking floors? Does that mean they're all gonna have to get pulled into the same tile set? Or can we have multiple tile sets, multiple layers of collision tiles? Nothing. Okay. Collision tiles. No? Collision. Let's just search for collision. And this is all math in relation to collisions. Which, like, is great, but it's not that collision tiles layer. And if you're going to require it to have a certain name, then heavens to Betsy, everyone. Like, so okay, let's dupe this. Swap out the tile set for cave. Okay. So, yeah. So you need to have unique layer names. So you can't have collision tiles multiple times. And we now, for some reason, have all those exclamation points. GameMaker exclamation mark tile. So is that okay, so I found a thread talking about this. Did you change the sprite that was used to make the tile set in any way after the tile set was made? Like, did you change the name of the sprite or change it in the sprite editor? Yes. Or no, all I had to do was close and reopen the project. I put a first empty tile in the tile set. Okay, I don't know what that means. How bizarre. Like, I would imagine this exclamation mark would be saying, hey, this is no longer colliding, right? Like, what if we change this to be _2? And then run it. What's gonna happen? Fall straight through. So it can't just have collision tiles in the name. It has to be named specifically collision tiles. That's deeply frustrating. And we've noticed this before with like move and collide, right? Like, what if you want to collide with multiple things? I don't understand why this happens the way that it does. I'm pretty sure there's got to be a good reason, and that there's maybe some like, oh, you're expected to put everything you collide with in one tile set. Because reasons. Like, okay, like I'd be willing to start buying that, but man, I am really struggling to understand why that would be. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and build a level. Collision tiles. Auto. We actually wouldn't want to do... I guess we would want to do stuff like this if we didn't want the tiles to be breakable, right? Because I can put that down and we can play. And my guess is we're not going to be able to break any of that, right? Nope. But if I go into my instances and bring in the block brick object, then that will work just fine. That will be how we do stuff that breaks and how we have stuff that's just terrain. There you go. Okay. Right on. Let's go ahead and put a couple of those right there, and then, I don't know, more tiles. This is not good level design. This is not how you should approach level design. Let's go ahead and erase and make a big pit over here of water. Ooh, that means we have to throw in water, a water layer, which should be what? In the instances, we're definitely going to want to bring in a hurt zone. Then expand that out. What would water be? Because it's not really an interactable object because this is a game where swimming doesn't really work. Would it just be an image? No, it couldn't be an image. It'd have to be a new tile set, right? Because you need to paint the water wherever you want it. It's not just a background image that tiles across the entire thing. So I'm going to guess new tile layer. Is that how they have it set up? Yes, it is. Water tiles. Excellent. Water tiles. And you are water. Ratatoutinous. So now we have our water tiles. We have our... And can I please draw? Do I have to select something in here? Okay. And then can I do auto? No. Strange. Wonder why that is. Nonetheless, we can do this, and then I'm curious if... Can I paint over these things? Yep. Okay. Right on. There we go. Still have our hurt box there. Probably drag this underneath hurt boxes. In fact, I can understand why you would want the hurt box to be on its own layer. So why don't we go ahead and do that so that it can have a different visual prioritization in your editor just to make it go more smoothly. Let's go ahead and object hurt zone, cut, paste. So we can still have water like over the instances, but hurt boxes over the water. Makes sense to me. Whoops. Now we want to select all these. And And we want to apply an effect. And I believe that was underwater. There we go. That's a pretty hefty shift. Let's creep that down a little. In fact, we can drag water tiles all the way down below collision tiles. That way it gets clipped. Now the problem is we still have water kind of bouncing in. So it does not look great. So I think we need to decrease that scale as well, down to like 10. Still getting some creep on the side. What happens if we take distort 2 amount? Whoa. 0 makes a lot of strange artifacting happen. Now that is strange. So we're getting that crawling up the side of the wall. Does their water do that? Whoops. Whoops. No. So I'm curious, if we turn off collision tiles, are we going to see the water go beyond the space that it technically occupies? And I'm betting that's the case. So if we turn off collision tiles, we should see water that extends out past the hurt zone. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So let's go ahead and drop in our side water. Oh, we're selecting. Oops. Auto. What? Do we need like reselect water tiles? Yeah. There we go. And that's cleaning it all up. Lovely. Grab our other one, extend that out. Grabjess. And you know what? I kind of like how subtle that is. Are we gonna play? There we go. Must not have clicked or something. Okay. Got our little dude. We can run underneath. Check out the water. Kind of like that. I do want to get rid of these lines underneath here, though. Okay. And that's problem number 1. To fix that. Okay. So go to our instances, block, brick, and set you right there. Just make sure that that is functioning. Yeah. Cool. There we go. We can jump down and we should die. Right on. Oh, you know what? We don't have any GUI. We need to bring in the GUI. First things first, let's refine our water. And is it the distort amount that is making those weird artifacts? No. In fact, the higher I take it, like the more it does. Okay. Perfectly fine. Short scale. Okay. Take that back to where it was. Oh, wait, hold on. Distort 1, 2, distort 2, 1, 2. Okay, so we could spend probably an entire evening coming in and checking that out. In order to speed things up just a smidgen, I think I'm going to pass on that. Oh. And And I'm going to copy those values over that they have on their water. 0.018 and 0.026. 0.018 and 0.026. Got these bubbles. Really annoying. What on earth is causing that? What's that number? 495 and 30. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna screenshot all this. And then pull it up side by side so I can just make all of these number changes without having to jump back and forth between tabs and manually selecting water tiles every time. Okay, so we've got 495 and 34, 22, and 21, and then 6 and 5. So the bubbles are definitely there. No chroma spread. Oh. And I think this was set to white, black, and black? No. White? No. What are you set to? You are set to black. What are you doing? Okay. Glint color 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Done. Add color 0, 0. Okay. And now that looks identical. Okay. Right on. Let's refine this hurt box a smidgen. Take it straight up to there. Why not? And then there's something else we said we needed. The GUI, right? Since we're jumping into this halfway through, we have our UI. We have buttons. We don't want the main menu. We don't want the pause menu. We don't want touch buttons. They're going to be in the HUD. Okay. HUD background, HUD coins, heart empty, heart full. So what's surprising to me is that these aren't like being drawn in by the game at any point, and that's very strange. Because that's how I would have imagined you do it, is like on room creation, draw this at 0, 0, start drawing the hearts, and then draw the background at, you know, the end point. That doesn't seem to be how this is working right now. The only thing that's different, all the behavior should be the same, unless there's like is there an object, like a game object in here that would do this? Yeah, we've got all that. Managers, game manager, parallax, persistent manager. What's game manager? You press R. Restart room? What? That's a thing? Break, R. R? Is it because it's not in the room? Can we add like a new instance of like managers? And then assets, game manager. Put it just right over the room or over the viewport. We have a UI. And then I hit reset and it completely crashes on the leaves. Okay. Speaking of which, let's go to the leaves. Now that we have UI, hooray, right? And I think that's like all of the UI, right? Coins, heart empty, heart full, background. Yeah, coins and hearts with the background. That's all we needed. So, okay, before we do the leaves, I need to see like what they are doing here. So, create, seek, game HUD. Sequence, game HUD. So this is another sequence. Game HUD. Oh, look at all this. This is... So is sequence an animation sequence? It's one frame that has coins, one instance of coins and one instance of hearts, and then the background. So it's like a composite of... It's like a visual overlay. Like you can say this is a preset scene that I can now call and invoke wherever I want. This creates the HUD sequence, which shows all HUD elements, just coins and hearts. It lasts throughout the level. It's being defined at x0 and y0, which I guess makes sense because you're making this equal to the resolution. Once again, we got to figure out how do you deal with multiple resolutions. But we have our origin here in the upper left, so that is getting pinned to the upper left of the screen. It is the right width, same width as the room, and so it is working just fine. Okay. And it's getting spawned in the instances layer, okay? And then we're assigning a paused variable, a pause sequence. Let's take a look at the pause sequence. Oh, okay. So it has these animations, right? Where do I get to see? Oh, okay, here are all the transforms and everything. We've got color multiply, origin. So position, so they slide in just a smidgen. And that's it. Okay. They are transparent to start off with. And then within... How many frames is that? 8 frames? 8 frames? Yeah, within 8 frames, they're fully opaque. Okay, and I'm assuming we're going to see the same thing on all of these. So this button is the top button, and then the bottom button, resume, menu, menu background. And I'm assuming we only need to call it resume and menu so that we know where, so we can tell the game where to draw the correct text. Then we have pause menu background, and then so this whole thing, hey, that was the question we had the other day. Is this all one image, or is it, there we go. Yep. There it is. It's all one image. It's not a composite of a bunch of different assets, although you could do it that way, as we're seeing here. We've got multiple assets all being composited here, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, cool. Look at us learning. And name in cave. In cave. What would in cave do? Tells whether the player is in a cave, true or not. False, used for ambient audio. Okay, I was wondering if it was an audio cue. Okay. And then if the game is running on a browser, create the touch controls sequence. And what is the touch controls sequence? I'm very curious about that. Where are my sequences? Touch controls. Okay. So it's placing these objects on screen, no animation, just one frame. It's just orienting them. So now we have the pause button, the left and right, and the jump. So ergonomically speaking, you've got your left hand controlling left and right, and your right hand being the jump. Okay. You know, theoretically, that this would be in a mobile experience. It's interesting that they're just doing it on the browser. and not like checking if it's a mobile device. How would that work? Because if you made an app and distributed it, let's see, is this a pre-built variable? Can we look this up? OS underscore browser. Okay, so we can tell if it's not being played in a browser or is being played through gx.games target. An unknown browser, unknown explorer on a mobile device, Edge, Firefox, or Internet Explorer on a mobile device, rather. Firefox, Chrome, Safari on a mobile device, Opera, Tizen mobile device, Windows app. OS device? It's really granular. So weird. Once again, in the web world, you just kind of set breakpoints. Like it's all living in the same space. You just say at breakpoint X pixels wide, do this. We can check if it's an Android tablet or a Windows or Android phone. And Android phones count as emulators, I guess. So theoretically, we could say instead of browser is unknown, we could say if iOS, if we are not in an unknown iOS, then display the touch controls. So it seems like you have one category that is not mobile devices in here, which is unknown. And I'm curious if they have a way to like detect your desktop. And I'm not really seeing it. I'm seeing window set size. We've got like resolution. Something I've been curious about. Global.scale. Interesting. Okay. Cool. So I'm still curious about why we're doing a browser check to see if we're on a mobile device instead of like a device check. In any case, that's what it does. Else OS type. So if it's equal to Opera GX, if this game is running on Opera GX, which is like GameMaker's platform that they have for distributing executables. Okay, so I guess the theory is if people are accessing this, it's probably going to be on mobile through it. If the game is running on Android, set touch controls. If it's iOS, set touch controls. I mean, why can't we just do like ORs? Why do we have to have 3 different ifs? Right? Like, we're not setting different touch controls. It's not like we have a touch control for Opera, a touch control for iOS, and a touch control for Android. They're all the same thing. So why are we doing 3 checks? Can we not do like value is OS underscore iOS or OS underscore Android? I mean, it looks like we can. It's not yelling at me. Okay, weird. I guess I'm curious because we are detecting if we're on Android or iOS, and also OS underscore type. That's good to know. That's different than the one we found earlier. Right? Yeah, that's different from the one we saw earlier. Oh, you can even go to like consoles and stuff. That's cool. Oh, okay, and that's interesting. So if we did the way that I was saying before of like the device type, if we set not equal to unknown, display touch controls, or rather, if we know what device type it is, set it to that, then that would display touch controls for like consoles and stuff as well. So that's interesting to note. So yeah, why are we checking if we're in a browser and then displaying touch controls? It doesn't make sense. If we're already detecting Android or iOS, maybe there's like a web native way to do this that is popular on mobile devices. I don't know. If layer exists, effect leaf, name effect leaf, value, layer get fx effect leaf, function call fx get parameter effect leaf param num particles target leaf count. So if the effect leaf layer exists, get the leaf effect fx struct, and then get the number of leaves. Okay, so where are my structs? Would they be in scripts? No, that's collisions. Objects, notes, fonts. For struct? Or effect leaf? No. Okay, you're not good enough to do that. Underscore layer get? No. Liza Mellon, hello. I am doing very well. Thanks. How are you doing? Welcome on in. And thank you for the follow. Hello, hello. How's your Tuesday morning, afternoon, and or evening going? Okay, so we don't know where the structs are. We'll figure that out another time. Let's keep going. Building this level here. So we just want, really all we're looking for is, how's the streaming going? It's going just fine. We're learning all sorts of fun stuff. I'm very new when it comes to game dev, but it is being a lovely time. Thank you for asking. So I think we can, like, the question is, can I do all three? Oh, baby, can I, like, pen select these and then, like, what happens if I change the size? That's just gonna tile them, right? Okay. So we can like set that and then that, and then maybe we can like do, let's see, how did we rotate tiles before? We probably don't want these sides to have the grass growing on them, to be honest, but that's great. By the way, I love to watch your stream and your content as well. Thank you. I'm glad it's being somewhat helpful to at least someone. All right, so we've got our path over, and then we can take our eraser. Do you do much development yourself, or are you just a hobbyist like myself? Games you stream mostly this. This is kind of my mission right now is creating or learning how to build games. And the mission is to eventually create an organization that will help other people do the same thing. So I'm starting myself, and yeah, doing my due diligence, learning how to build. Put that there. So we'll just make a wall saying, hey, you have to go underneath. Now we need to make a new tile layer. This tile layer, we're gonna call cave tiles. Sounds good. Yeah, it's a good time. Everything in due time, but something we're hoping to accomplish here. So can I just put, oops, too much? Those three, and then those two, and then what, Phil? Nope. How do we redo? Is it Control Y? Yeah. Already Control Y instead of no Control Shift C. Okay. You're a graphic designer and animator. Very cool. What industries do you find yourself doing graphic design and animation in? So we can throw the cave tile down there, and then we can chuck it behind the collision tiles. There we go. Now we've got that. Now, I believe there are some cool tiles we can use over here for when we're in caves. And I think it's these blue ones. Shooting Ranger, hello, welcome on in. Good to see ya. Would you like to see some of my recent work? I think that would be rad, but can't really right now. Let's see, let's paint that on. What sort of projects have you worked on? Talk me through it. What sort of things have you done? What sort of things have you enjoyed doing? Paint, whoops, not that one. Just the side, not the side and the bottom. Now, is there a side and a top? I admit, I didn't make these assets, so I don't really know how they're intended to be used. It looks like we have bottom underneath, which I'm curious about, because how many times are you going to be, like, underneath? Oh, this is why we have the bottom tiles for the dirt. There we go. So I can slap those all over there. And then, let's see. I guess we can do just these guys again, but then that just feels weird. I don't know. Feels weird having grass underground, you know? Mostly work for Twitch streamers and YouTubers, like making their logo, banner, emotes, overlays, and stuff. Nice. Very cool. Have you found much success in that? I think that's one of those spaces that I feel could either be really, really, really profitable or really, really hard to maintain a living on. Let's see. Especially with AI tools on the rise. I'm a product designer myself. And my wife is an illustrator, so constantly on the lookout for stuff like that. Do you have YouTube up as well? Who you're talking to? This is Liza Mellon, who is also in the chat. Do I have YouTube up as well? We do have a YouTube, but I have not done anything with it. I am planning on getting it up and running. I mean, that's not true. We have stuff, but from like years ago when we were doing video game streams and not game development streams. So I need to start pumping out content and throwing it on there, and also explore multicasting onto YouTube possibly. I have heard that YouTube streaming is having a pretty powerful effect on Twitch right now. So you can share me your Discord. We talk tomorrow or whenever you're free. Talk about what? If you are soliciting your services, I think I'm gonna pass. But if you just like to be a part of the community, you're more than welcome to hang out. I figured, but I see none of their messages, so I was unsure. You're not seeing any of this person? Of Liz and Melanie, you're not seeing any of those chats? Okay, what am I looking for? I'm looking for left blue top grass. Left blue top grass. This shouldn't be this hard. Oh dear. Where is left blue top grass? You are not interesting? Well, you know, many people have said I'm not interesting in the past. Thankfully, my wife has disagreed with that, but yeah, I think we're gonna pass if you're soliciting your services. Welcome to hang out, but that's gonna be the end of that. Okay, so that's starting to look better-ish. I don't know, it still looks really dumb. How did they do it in their example level? And this isn't necessarily how to build a game, but I am curious to notice conventions. Not any messages that you would be responding to the way you are. I see the message about Discord. Okay, so at least there's that. Okay, so yeah, they are doing that. Okay, fine, sure. All right, take care, Eliza. Yeah, so it looks like they do have just blue everywhere that there isn't grass on the ground. does feel really weird to me to have that grass. I would love for there to be different colored dirt underneath here too, but oh well. Yeah, Shooting Ranger, what brings you in tonight? Um, oh, we can do blue ceilings. Hey, check that out. So we want something like that, but then that has that little grass corner. This looks cool. What you're working on? We are learning how to build games. This is a part of GameMaker, and it is their Windy Woods kind of tutorial project. So it comes in with all these pre-built assets, and you get to kind of tool around and make stuff. Right now, we're just kind of throwing some quick. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Some quick sprites together, trying to do some really rapid level design. And I think I'm actually going to just call this here because this is not supposed to be a level design portfolio project. This is just making a level, and we can keep on refining it, and we know we can throw down shrubbery and the set dressing, all that fun stuff. We can do that, but this will give us enough experience in the level editor to know how to navigate this. So let's go ahead and explore this. I'm kind of curious what happens when we hit that end gate, because when we hit it, I'm curious if it's going to do its thing or if there's like an additional strut that we need to call that we're not. Oh, and there's a tile that is busted. And here too, we need to put this tile here and this tile here as well. And then our character is a little bit scrunchy, so that would be another note. Keep at least 2 tiles high space. Hey, all right, abort because there's like not a room after that, but cool, right on. So that's working, great. Let's keep on with the tutorial.
Select the collision tiles layer, which is the layer that contains the ground tiles. You will see that on the right hand side.
And we're probably gonna just watch this for a little bit because I think I've been tooling around and learning everything that's in this tutorial, just kind of playing around with it. You're learning Java, but you got tired of watching YouTube videos and writing myself. Okay, right on. So you're coming to Twitch to try and find other people who are writing Java to learn from and stuff, and to gain inspiration from and gather knowledge. Is that right?
Side of your GameMaker window, a new menu has opened up. This shows all of the tiles available to this layer.
Got that.
Select any tile you want from here and put it in the room. Use the left.
Now this is something that I've seen before. It's this kind of PNG background transparency tile. Very curious why that is the first one. I've always seen that on several different projects. We have that first tile and then an empty row. I'm very curious why that exists. Oh, it's just a transparency. But then why don't we just erase? Hold on. If we are set this here, then it will be transparent and collide? Is that gonna work? No, it doesn't. All right. Well, let's undo that then. But I don't know why that exists instead of just using erase. Even if they're not writing Java, I wanted to see something live. I definitely hear that. I'm very new on my game dev journey myself. I've done a good amount of coding in my background. I used to be in web dev, and I've done some C# programming, or rather C++. But yeah, this is a whole new experience for me, and I have been in the design space instead of the programming space for about 9 years. So I definitely hear you on getting a ton of value on seeing what other people do. It's been widely inspirational just seeing like 20 minutes of someone like playing around with materials in the Unreal Engine. It's like, okay, now I know the materials are a thing in the Unreal Engine, and wow, look at them like using different cloud noise patterns in parallax scrolling with each other with different effects and additive layers and stuff to create like a fire effect. That's fascinating, right? I definitely hear you. I've downloaded GameMaker a while ago too. Decided I was going to try and copy Fire Girl and Water Boy. Cool math game as a guide since I know how that's supposed to look. Nice. Yeah, man. Imitation is a great way to build your skill set, especially very early on. That's one of the big things they say when you're trying to level up like your graphic design skills or something, is you find something that looks really good and then you try and copy it. And I imagine it's a very similar principle with game dev. You find something that you know looks and feels and functions really well, and then you try and rebuild it. And I'm sure you'd learn a ton of lessons. Written JavaScript before, but new to Java. Very cool. I've never done Java. I've done some JavaScript, but no Java. I thought Java was kind of an older, more dead language, and I'm sure that's incorrect. What's compelling you to be learning Java?
Mouse button to paint a tile and the right mouse button to erase them. To move around in the room, hold the middle mouse button to pan and scroll your wheel while holding control to zoom in.
I didn't know you could do right mouse button to erase. Wow. War to 727. Hi. If you're a question about the transparent thing square, it's maybe to know the size of the grid. Maybe. That's a great question, because you know what? I don't know anywhere that we are defining that. Like, what is the size of the grid? How many pixels by pixels is this? I never set that. And if we go into the collision tiles layer here, we have offset and depth and filters, but none of that has anything to do with like how to slice up this grid. And if I look like really, yeah, school for ants style at this, I'm not seeing those white lines anywhere. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all if that's the case, is that transparent square is the base unit. And you set that to be whatever size you want it to cut up the image into a grid. Could be. Minecraft initially to learn Java. Now I just want to know all of them and figured I could start with the two called Java. Man, that's a One Piece level style dedication to your craft there. That's I'm going to use 3 swords at the same time. I'm going to learn all the languages. That's ambition right there. Best of luck. How's that learning experience going for you? Oh, and I think he also said use the control and mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Oh, I've been wanting that so bad. Is that going to work over here too? Please let it work over here. Yes! Oh, man. Yay! Oh, man, you don't understand how big of a quality life improvement that is for me. Oh, man, that's great.
And out. If you're on a laptop's trackpad, you can enable laptop mode from here and then hold Alt to pan and Control to zoom. Now after you're done placing, run the game and your new tiles will be there.
Whoa. Hold on. Hold on.
And
okay. Look at what he placed down here. He has these 4 tiles. This middle one has green on the left and right sides. When he jumps into the game,
Control to zoom.
Oh, whoa. What's happening? Hold on. This is a mystery I need to resolve. Look at this. Green on both sides. We're going to hit play. He's going to zoom in, and those green sides will disappear, and then he'll zoom out, and they'll come back in.
Control to zoom.
See that? See that? And then when he plays the game, zoom back in, and now that's gone.
Well, after you're done
then he plays the game, and they're gone, no matter the zoom level. So, I mean, can I just, do that? No, that's not changing anything. So we'll slot these in here. Put that there, I guess. So he got the 3-sided green one and just dropped those in. Where is the 3-sided green one? I'm not even seeing that as an option. Where did you find that?
What? Available to this layer. Select any tile you want from here and put it in the room. Use the left mouse button to paint a tile and the right mouse button to erase them.
Okay.
To move around in the room, hold the middle mouse button to pan and scroll your wheel while holding Control to zoom in and out. If you're on a laptop strategy,
Okay. I think I figured it out. Hold on. I think I figured it out. I'm going to press play. I'm going to see if I'm right. And then I'm going to feel very smart if I'm right.
you can enable
Simultaneously incredibly dumb.
laptop mode from here and then hold Alt to pan and Control to zoom.
Shoot. All right. I know what the problem is. Look at his mouse cursor.
Mode from here.
It's placing a 3-sided green block. Right now, that middle block is not a 3-sided green block. But this one is now, because his mouse is over it. It's swapping out the tile. Now, he put his mouse cursor back over that central square, and then he's going to scroll in, and the mouse leaves the square and goes over here, so it swaps this tile out with itself. And now it's back. That's why. Okay. Looks like some auto layout thing, not really sure. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about, right? Like, do I not have to worry about putting the right tiles down? Can I just kind of throw it down and it will interpolate what it should be? Or not? So that was why we needed to look at that carefully, because now we know, no, that's not the case. Switching from JavaScript to Java so far has been okay. JavaScript seems like a simplified version of Java, but I just started, so we'll see. Okay. I keep wanting to use JavaScript syntax in Java. Like, JavaScript could use print in parentheses, and Java has to use system.out.println. Sure. Okay. No, that makes sense. I mean, I know nothing about Java. But it would make sense to me if it is a scripting language born from Java. So it would have those inherently scoped methods and everything to call that you wouldn't need to specify when you're in web, because you already have the context, you already have the scope defined just by virtue of the language. So I believe that. All right, let's keep going.
Now after you're done placing, run the game and your new tiles will be there with complete collisions. The collisions are there because this template already has the required code for the player to interact with these tiles. Now, manually placing each tile is fun, but it gets a little tedious.
Yeah, so doing everything by hand is, no, that's fun, but let's find a better way to do it. My experiences, JavaScript and Java have many differences, but it's only visible in more advanced projects. Oh, nice. Do you have much experience with Java and JavaScript, Ward?
Yes, especially when you have to place the corner tiles manually and edit the existing ones.
Oh man, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the auto layout coming. I'm feeling it in my bones.
To merge them into your new tiles. Auto tiling makes this much easier. In the tiles menu, go under libraries and select the normal auto tile. Now just use the left mouse button to paint your tiles, and you can see that it automatically handles which tile to place where, and it also edits the existing tiles so they nicely merge into your new blocks.
Hold on. But this doesn't make sense to me, because like, what, hold on. Because what if you wanted to have like a T, right? What if you wanted a single block coming up? It looked like I saw him delete a single block. So if I right click here. Interesting. Interesting. So I can do this and put that all back in, but like, how do I put in just a single square? I can't put in just a single square, but I can get rid of single squares or a whole bunch of squares all at once? Question mark? Because before it was letting me do 2 vertically at the same time. There we go. Okay, so I guess that's just the limit. We'll do 2 at once. Okay, right on. I feel like there's a lot of nuance to figure out for limited. And then what's mossy? Oh, it's just like a full block. So I could just swap these in, and all of a sudden this is gonna look better. And then theoretically I can right click. I can at least do that. The question is, how do I get rid of only one tile when there's two left? Because it would be frabjous to be able to have that sort of control there. Yeah, like in that instance, right? I mean, I guess I could do it like this and then select, and then I guess I can't really move it, can I? There's not really a way to do that. Oh, wait, hold on. Ideas. Now that didn't work. It just filled it with middles. So what happens if I do this and then mossy? Yeah, it's filling it up with middle. Interesting. For a JavaScript desktop application and website with Node.js, for example, and created some Minecraft mods and plugins. So I'm more in JavaScript than Java. Right on. Very cool. I remember I was in school for web development and web design and UX design. And we had an adjunct professor come in, a guy who did a lot of coding. And he said, all right, everyone, open up your terminal and download Node.js. Node.js. Download Node, get NPM going. And we were all like, what? What are you talking about? This is an entirely different language, which has very little, is not as much impact as it should, given that we talk about programming languages. But I mean, he was talking Martian to us. None of us had ever heard about opening the terminal to do any of this. That was the very first day of class. He just kind of looks around and sees everyone being super confused, hurriedly Googling things. He says, you guys know about all this stuff, right? We said, no one's ever told us about any of this. And he had to take quite a few steps back in his lesson plan to figure out how to get lesson plans where he wanted them. Okay, so what we really want is like this, right? And there's probably a way to do that automatically. I mean, we could just do this, right? There we go. And I can just do that, and then subtract. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Sure. We're spending too much time throwing down blocks when that is not the purpose of this project. Let's keep going.
The auto-tiling libraries also have to be set up manually, but this is already done for you in this template. You can use the right
Okay, so hold on.
block.
Was he saying that
The
like
auto-tiling libraries
your libraries need to be set up in a specific way? So like the if I go to the collision tiles, if I were to be making my own sprite sheet, I would need to make 3x3 sections, which would make sense. So that's how we conceptualize this. This 3x3 is mossy. This 3x3 is grass with cave. This 3x3 is pure grass. This 3x3 is around a circle that has grass, a hole that has grass. This 3x3 is cave with grass ground. And okay, great. This is things that. So can I do that and then it just becomes auto layout? Effectively, right? Looks like it. So the auto-ness is just pre-selecting a 3x3 grid that has already been established. Right? And so this would be what? Random? Yeah, maybe it breaks down over here. And you know what? We have 3, 6, 9, 12. No, they're all right. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's what I thought. So there isn't a perfect 3x3 grid. So you probably are manually setting these. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Okay. So we have normal, mossy, and underground. So normal, can I like, will it highlight which square? That would be really nice. Open or closed edges. Oh man, okay, this is more stuff that I need to learn about. So if I click that, it replaces it. Okay, got it. Okay, we're getting some things figured out.
Also have to be set up manually, but this is already done for you in this template. You can use the right mouse button to erase the tiles using the same auto tiling tool. So go ahead and using this auto tiling tool, create a small section in this level. You can even create underground areas by erasing tiles using the right mouse button. Now the underground parts here are looking unfinished because there's no background there. Let's fix that. Select the cave.
That's interesting because mine is not operating the way his does on right mouse button. Do I have to be on normal? Oh, underground maybe? No, that is not setting things the way that it should. Normal? Normal's doing it. Okay, that seems picky. Also buggy. Right on.
Cave tiles layer, and then under the tiles menu, select this cave tile.
We've done.
Then up here, to make filling it easier, select the rectangle tool, and now using this tool, fill in the section behind your underground parts.
Yep.
Now for a final touch, select this tile, and then up in the tools menu, choose the line tool, and in the room, place these tiles here so that the cave section blends nicely with the overworld.
There we go. Oh no, Ryan Reynolds! Get out of here, Ryan!
I'm here in the North Pole to remind you
I love you, Ryan.
So that's your level ready.
Just please don't interrupt game dev time. That's all I ask. I don't think that's much to ask of in a relationship, really.
The player can walk and jump around and try to reach the end, but of course the level itself is empty right now. We'll fill that in very soon. So working in the room editor, you can see how everything is placed in layers, and the order of the layers also matters. For example, the cave tiles layer is below the collision tiles layer, which is why it appears behind it.
Yep, that makes
When
sense.
you're creating
It's
your
what we found
own
out.
game, you'll get to decide what layers you create and how you order them.
Yep.
Now let's fill in our level by using objects. The instances layer is where we'll add our objects like coins, enemies, and blocks. Then in your asset browser, open the objects group, and here you'll find a bunch of objects that can be placed in this instance layer. For example, I'll go into environment, items, and select obj coin, drag and drop this into your room, and there you have a new coin in your level.
Oops.
There is a simpler way if you want.
I'm used to working in Figma. I was holding in Alt and click dragging, and in Figma that just means you copy that thing and you can click and drag it to a new spot. Here, no, it places it at every pixel that you have the mouse dragged in. So, all right, cool.
Want to place multiple coins at once, select the obj coin object or any other object you want to place, and then on your keyboard hold Alt or Option, and then just start painting with your mouse. I'm gonna add in some coins using this technique. Then there are also blocks in the asset browser that you can add to the level, so I'll add some here and also some here. And under characters and enemies, you'll find an enemy object called obj enemy1. So let's add some of those as well. Now run the game, and there are your new instances. The level really feels much more alive now. If you followed any of the other Windy Woods tutorials and added a jumping enemy, checkpoints, or jump through platforms, you can go ahead and add them to this level. But if you haven't, you can find those tutorials on this channel or find links to them in the description.
Cool. All right. Let's check this out. Let's see what happens here. Cool. So is this guy gonna jump off? Yes, he will. Oh, and he's stuck. Beautimous. Made that guy in the previous tutorial we did yesterday. Okay, so now here's something that I want to figure out how we do. How do we look down? Because that would be incredibly helpful in this instance, right? There you go. There I die. Okay, cool. It's a game. And it crashes on death because we haven't told it how to handle that yet. Or maybe it's because the room order is out of sequence? Anyways, let's try and get to the end here. I want to explore the cave that we built. Oh dear. There we go. We got this guy. He gets to the edge and bounces off. Good. We got this guy. Are you gonna get to the edge and bounce off? Good. And we can get that. Hooray. Too high for us to jump on. And then we can get a whole bunch more coins. Hooray! Found the secret path, and now we're out, and then it's gonna crash because we don't have the rooms in the right order. But hey, look at that! And then if we wanted to put the rooms in the right order again, we change this. We put level 3 in its proper spot, and then that should hopefully fix things. All right, right on. Well, I mean, I think that's probably it for today. What do we do next? Collectibles and pickups we've already done. Add a new enemy we've done. Animate objects will be tomorrow's. Very exciting. Very exciting tutorial. Well, thank you very much, everyone who hung out with us today. We're at the end of our stream here. I need to go be a dad and do family stuff. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was a blast. Love getting to chat with everyone about JavaScript and everything. And if you enjoy this sort of thing, feel free to follow. And we will see you another time, hopefully. In any case, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, afternoon, and or evening. And keep on rocking in the free world. See you later. See ya, Shooting Ranger. See ya, Ward.